G'day everyone, it's 3 a.m. here and I am about to do the ZRL points race on Fine and Sandy. There's the route. We have 4 laps of that course, so 8 sprint segments and as well as the finish line. I'm in this race for a couple of key reasons. So getting some points race practice because it's physiologically similar to the world champs that are coming up next weekend in a deep field in the peak Euro time slot. As well as that, we are um, getting up early and racing. Like it's the first time I've had to wake up early for a race for a long time, so I thought it'd be good to practice to see how things went before next week. So here with the Rainbow Chasers, and we are heading into sprint one. My timing is off, and you can see there I've got no draft. I'm about to get overran from a lot of people behind. I'm never usually that good on the first sprint when everyone's got those fresh legs, but having bad timing doesn't help that as we come across the line. Don't know, maybe 15th. Now, power up here. We are about to get our first aero, which I really wanted because by the second sprint, I wanted to have a crack at the FTS. Now, you can see here I'm following Magi from Inox, the magician, as we call him, pretty closely today. So didn't want to let him get away. So I was probably a little too aggressive at times, but heading into the tide pool sprint now, and this is where I'm having my first FTS attempt of the day, dropping that aero power up and trying to come through with really good speed and power. I'm timing things pretty well, and as the line approaches, I'm going to end up right at the front of the field, and that is the FTS. So 10 points. Ruben, teammate, gets the 8 FTS there, which is good. In terms of FAL, everyone scores. So every place matters at every sprint. So you got to do your best to do that. Into the next lap. Now, unintentionally, because we now have power ups, this lap is faster. So I've got an aero power up, which is obviously the one you want, and I have some good momentum and good power. So I'm actually going to redeem myself from that poor opening lap because this is the FTS lap and I'm about to pick up another 8 points of FTS. Nathan Guerra on my wheel there. It's going to be tight. So I think I maybe come across the line fourth at the FAL there. So another nice little hole. Things are looking good, and we get another aero power up, which is exactly what the doctor ordered. As I'll take you to the next sprint. Another fairly well timed sprint here. You can see I'll take you into the last 100 meters. Ruben and I with those charging socks on the left and right hand sides there. Ruben in the Rainbow Chasers kit. We go 1-2. So ticking some boxes, starting to work myself into the race and collecting some nice little points as we approach the halfway mark of the race. Now, I wanted to be able to cover moves off the sprints because that's what's going to be happening at the World. So here I'm in another little break, small gaps, but I'm able to follow, which is kind of the key thing for me heading into next week. Coming off those big efforts. Now this one was quite average timing. I'm sitting kind of in that wall, only going half power, waiting for the time to come into the like come out of the draft. Never really happens because people come from behind. It's an okay FAL considering I didn't have to expend that much energy for it, but the timing definitely left a bit to be desired on that one as I pick up the unfortunate steamroller, which is useless between these two sprints. You can see here I'm using it to on this wood stuff. Maybe that might help. I'm not sure, but again, I'm up on the magician's wheel in case anything dangerous happens because I'm expecting at some point soon there'll be some splits with the field getting tired. I leave myself vulnerable because of that. I get too far forward heading into this sprint. And then because I don't have a power up as well, I'm about to get absolutely demolished by the aero power ups coming from behind. So a lot of people have more speed, as you can see here. So I'm just going to try and hold my own through this sprint. So I've got to work pretty hard to do so. And as I said before, every place counts. It's an extra point, and it's not the best. I'm somewhere in the top 10, which is okay. And what power up am I going to get? Because that's going to dictate the next phase of the race. It's a steamroller. So I now know that I have until that next sprint on lap 4 to use this steamroller. So I'm going to use it in an attacking way to my advantage to try and create something. I head to the front here. Is it the time to think about using this steamroller? It's strung out, but it's still together. I decide that I'm probably best to use it on the next Mech Isle climb at the start of the 4th lap, which ended up being a good decision. But the steamroller obviously useless in the sprints, and people are getting tired, so wanted to make it happen. So I'm following the guys here, the Dragons and the Magician, and there is a little gap happening. I haven't done any work yet for this, but I go to the front here to get some speed up to try and consolidate that little 2 or 3 second gap so that I can make my steamroller actually worthwhile. So if I have 3-4 seconds and use a steamroller, people are going to find it hard to catch up. So again, no one comes through here, which is okay. But I don't really want to get caught before this sprint now. So it's almost like an all-in effort to make sure that I can hang on the next 2K. So we deploy the steamroller. Magi's in my wheel. I think he's the only one that can follow, because the power up's pretty powerful. So he's in the wheel. We get a little gap over 3rd and 4th. There are splits also starting to happen in the peloton. So at this stage, I'm now trying to just make sure I can hang on to this sprint, because if the group catch with aero power ups and momentum, we're just going to get absolutely smoked. Magi doesn't come through at all before the banner, so I do all the work myself to make sure that we hang on. As you can see here, we've got 3 seconds to Berlia, and 5, 6, 7 seconds to a little group, with Ruben becoming the last man into that group, that actually won't end up getting caught. So very good craft from Ruben. He knows when the key moves are being made, and he gets himself into that group. So we're going to hang on here. Magi doesn't come past me, but at this stage, I know that I can't hold on 7.5K against the group behind or the peloton. So I'm hoping to get a bit of help from this guy, but it doesn't happen. He just sits on. I throw a little emoji to him to try and get him to come through, but to no avail. That's okay. The group's going to come together, and I'm fine with that. I've got options. I've got an aero power up, so, and I'm going to have a teammate in a moment as well, which is always nice to have an ally. But you can see here I drop the wave instead of the elbow. But yeah, watch this disappearing out from the Dragons. Watch, here he disappears, and then he's going to pop up randomly. There he comes again. So some magicians all over the place here. Alvarado takes that one. I end up second for the FAL, but importantly, I hold my aero power up. I just didn't want to take the 25% chance of not having one for the finish, so I decided to bank it there. So I've got it for the end. Could have probably got a steamroller and tried something on the dirt. You never know what might have happened, but we didn't. And into the last K, the Magician takes off at 12 watts a kilo. No one follows him, and as what often happens in cycling, no one wants to be that second wheel, the one that tows the group across. And even though there are 2 Wahoos, 2 Dragons, and 2 Rainbow Chasers, the Magician is given a gap in the final kilometre. So I was hoping that someone would put it on the line, someone maybe without a sprint, that might get us within striking distance. But he's extending the gap now out to 4 seconds, soon to be 5 seconds, as we're about to rip into the sprint here. So Heading into a bit of a downhill, and I kick up my speed, use that aero power up, and go for home. I quickly come past the riders in second and third place here. I've got Ruben latched onto my wheel. Alvarado's finishing strong as well. Do we have enough time to catch the magician? Is Ruben or Alvarado going to catch me? There it is. So didn't quite get him on the line, but we hang on for second over the line there. And I'm happy with the signs that I saw today. There's the Zwift Power kind of finish line numbers. So yeah, can't complain with that at all. I'm happy with the form heading into next week. The WTRL results here. We don't have the finish line or podium bonuses there yet, but Ruben and I will be first and second on points for the day, which is nice in our little warm up season for the Rainbow Chasers, contesting against some of the top teams like Wahoo. Next up for me, the Chasing Rainbows Ecro Road Race on the weekend. So, the finale or the main kind of Ecro race of the year, I'm going to have a crack. I'll see you there.